We're back out here on the tennis courts, and while I showed you a moment ago about the technology that is helping move the cotton industry forward, we're also going to take a look at the good old-fashioned economics which keep the cotton industry viable here in the United States. For more on that, I serve it up to Neil Melancon for this week's Bottom Line.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry. First South Farm Credit, financing rural America since 1933. And by Progressive Tractor and Implement, your Case IH and Kubota dealer.
Technology's always played a part of cotton here in the United States, but there's some basic economics at work as well that's caused its downfall. But we're starting to see some growth, in fact, a little bit of role reversal in the way of selling cotton back into China. See, in 2001, China's entry into the World Trade Organization marked the death knell for the U.S. textile industry as we had known it. Much like in other manufacturing, textiles could be produced much more cheaply in China, even while we were the ones supplying them the raw cotton. Textile mills and gins across the country shut down and the price of cotton deflated. However, some companies, like the Frontier Spinning Mill in Sanford, North Carolina, managed to survive and even grow. Frontier's president Robin Perkins says technology and capital together have allowed his company to retain a competitive edge.
We've grown our business a lot over the last 10 years by going to vertical companies that have their own spinning. They also would be a producer. They would either knit or weave their own fabrics. A lot of those companies through the years have not had the capital to modernize their spinning. So we went to a lot of these companies and convinced them to either shut down their spinning or we would buy it, and then we would modernize it and be able to supply them a product at a lower cost basis than what they were able to do internally.
Utilizing those economic structures has even allowed Frontier to sell textiles back into China, capitalizing on China's internal workings. Right now, the price for cotton in China is at $1.35 per pound, whereas on the world market, it's in the upper 80s. More to the point, China has a quota system that demands the purchase of cotton internally to a certain amount in order to support their domestic cotton production. Those companies that have can import cotton at a 5% tariff. Those that haven't are imposed a 40% tariff. As it happens, most of these companies that haven't met quota are private ones who are looking for a workaround by importing finished goods that don't violate the quota regulations. So for the first time in more than a decade, we're exporting finished cotton goods back into China. Whether it continues or not is a matter of China's own quota system, as well as other outside markets such as the price of fuel and fertilizer. However, all things being equal, it could be the blueprint for the return of cotton production here in the United States. Now, the bottom line, obviously, is that Avery and I need better tennis skills, but the real bottom line for the cotton industry here in the United States is basic economic skills that keep this industry continuing to grow, especially as manufacturing moves out of China and into other countries.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry. First South Farm Credit, financing rural America since 1933. And by Progressive Tractor and Implement, your Case IH and Kubota dealer.
And remember, you can listen to Neil's reports daily on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Agri-News Radio Network. For a list of stations where you can tune in, or to tune in online, you can click over to our website at twilatv.org and click on the LF Barn link. Well, that does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Be sure to join us next week when we take a look back at the career of Dr. Paul Carell. It's the end of an era with his retirement over the LSU Ag Center. And remember, you can watch any of our stories online. Just go to our website, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in... Neil, I wasn't ready. Still talking to the viewers. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, even Neil Melancon, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week when I learn how to play tennis. Home run!